Hey, good evening. So we're going to try this. Oh, look at that. My name's down at the corner in there. I haven't done a lot of these recordings, so I don't really know what's going on. And to be honest with you, I'm using a free version of this, so the resolution's really not even that great either because I can't decide whether I'm going to use it or not. Anyway, welcome to my studio, which is also my bedroom. And yes, I don't have some elaborate bedroom. I have a closet with no doors on it because I have a smaller home and a huge dog crate right here. I have another dog crate over here. And for those of you that make your bed better than this every morning, congratulations. My day still comes out really well because I start with God and not necessarily my bed. So, and then my TV. So there you go. It's fancy and not all at the same time. And it is what it is. And I know what a blessing it is that I have a home and a roof over my head. And my mom is in her room across the hall, and what a blessing that is to be able to have her here too. Um, so this is what we're doing tonight, and I should be in bed. But I'd wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about this Miranda's rescue. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, Shannon Miranda, who is a gentleman who was actually taking dogs into his rescue, from what I can read about, without absolutely vomiting everywhere. Taking dogs into his rescue, getting anywhere from $400, $1,500 per dog, and then shooting them so that he could make room for more dogs. And I don't know if people understand how these rescues work, and I can't even imagine how heart-wrenching it is for people that have rescues that handed their dogs over to him because they ran out of room and paid him to take care of them and help find them a home, and then he takes them and they're just walking to their deathbed. I mean, it's disgusting. Anyway, over 177 dogs. I'm sure there's more than that. I think that I saw one estimate of 700 dogs were to be found. They actually just stopped digging, but they found dogs with dog tag with chips in them. And I can tell you right now, rescues, they have it tough. I'm not saying they have it tough. This guy had it tough because he did not. So he had a huge acreage and he chose to do this. This is what he chose to do, and this is how he chose to handle the situation. From what I can tell, it's not a situation where he was like, oh my gosh, I'm overloaded and I don't know what to do. I had a dog that passed away last year at the age of 14, and she was from a rescue. And from that rescue, I remember sitting at that lady's house and she was overwhelmed. She had some handicapped dogs there and she was doing the best that she could. And her house was immaculate. It was immaculate. Her backyard was great. Everything was good. She did good, but her mental health was stressing because she was doing something she loves to do, but it's also very, very hard. It's hard mentally. It's hard physically, emotionally, the whole thing. Anytime I've watched people handle these rescues, and I've seen and heard of some very horrific things that have happened at rescues because people are just there for the money, which is what this guy is. And the money is the root of all evil. By far. I mean, the Bible even talks about it, that the money is the root of all evil. And wherever you see a ton of money going on, whether it's celebrities, whether it's situations like this, whether it's going to be foster parents, whether it's people getting free money from the government, anytime you give money power, it's going to, money is not the bad part. Money is the root of all evil, but it's how you handle it, which is the bad part. Anytime you see it mishandled, and that's where evil comes in. And that's how this situation happened, is that this individual decided that it was going to be okay to go ahead and just take these. I can't imagine handing a dog over and now looking back and knowing what these other rescues know, that they handed over these dogs that they loved and cared about and thought that they were going to get this amazing home. And those dogs were walking to their deathbed. And how cold-hearted it is for an individual to just take the lives of all these animals. It's even ones that had microchips in them, that the microchips weren't apparently scanned. It's just heart-wrenching. And the more heart-wrenching part about it is that this happened in California, so the chances of him getting animal cruelty charges and going to jail for that are probably slim and none. And so I'm just trying to read some of the articles that they're talking about what's going to happen to this guy. His Instagram I pulled up is actually private now because I'm sure he got flooded with a bunch of garbage. I saw some messages that he posted saying that, he's innocent. He didn't do anything wrong. I mean, it's really, I don't, I don't even know how people would. Yeah, I don't even know how you say that you didn't know that this was going on. It's like a Michael Vick situation all over again with uh, his dog fighting ring. He was like, "Oh, I didn't know what was going on." You 100% knew exactly what was going on, and that's again money, 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 money. And this guy saw that this was a way for him to be able to make money, and he made some dirty money, and the blood is on his hands. And we really need to be careful when it comes to money. I mean, it's so easy to get wrapped up in money, but first I want to talk about these rescues and the hard work that these rescues do. There's a lot of really good rescues out there, and I worked with some rescues in Arizona and I follow some rescues here. And there's a lot of people that work really, 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 really hard to ensure that these dogs, especially the ones that are handicapped or old, people don't want them, they're not adoptable. They work really hard to get donations to be able to get them back on their feet, and people think that it's just like, hey, come out and get this dog, or here, take this dog to, and they call rescues and they're like, I don't understand why you can't take any dogs. And they're like, we're full. I mean, some of these rescues are in people's homes. They are in buildings. Some of them are in buildings. If the rescue is well off enough to be able to have a commercial building, they're able to have that. But they get full so fast, and it's because of backyard breeders. One, it's also because of just breeders in general too. And breeders suck. And I can tell you right now, I have a dog that's laying in that crate right now that I love more than anything. He's the goofiest dog I've probably ever owned. And he's from a friend of mine who bred her dog. And I took him, and I don't normally do that. And no offense to her if she sees this. I love her and care about her. But even my best friend knows with her dog, I hate breeders. This is why. This is why I don't like them, because you don't know what's going to happen to all those dogs once you think that people are going to pay $4,000 for a dog and then they're going to keep the dog, or they're going to go to a good home, and you just don't ever know. You just don't know. And or they're going to end up in the pound or in a kill shelter. Now, this guy's rescue was supposed to be a no kill shelter, but it almost seems like he immediately got the dogs and then just cycled them out. Like he just, yeah, so he could get more dogs. And this went on for a really long time. And I guess he was suspected of doing stuff like this. And uh, nobody did anything about it. And so I'm still following it. I just wanted to speak a little bit about rescues and the hard work that they do. And people need to probably take the time to appreciate a little bit more about these people that they're just like they're just like the little ninjas in the night that don't ask for gratitude from anybody, but should definitely deserve a big, huge thank you for everything that they do. There's a lot of rescues out here in the Pacific Northwest that do really good work and try really hard to ensure that their dogs are going to great homes and that they're being taken care of. There's a lot of really great ones in Arizona that I know of, and just all over and all over. But there's also a horror side to some of these, and I've heard and seen horrific things happen. And I know that in Arizona, there's a woman out there that had really made it her mission at one point in time to really out a lot of the terrible rescues that are out there. And there are ones out there. And why are they out there like that? Because one, they get involved and they get overwhelmed. It is a lot of work to have a rescue. And then they also find that donations come in or they get money. Like this guy, every time a dog was brought in, he was getting 400 to 1,500 or whatever, how many dollars that he was getting. And you keep doing that over and over again, you're going to make really good money. So he had a huge property, but you have to think about he's taking all these dogs in, and how is he going to feed them, care for them, medical coverage for them, all the things that you got to do for these dogs. and well, animals in general, but these are all dogs that had collars and tag, and then it's just awful. Microchips and um I think probably one of the worst things I heard was they found 600 collars in like a shed area, and that was where they believed that the dogs were killed. And that was like the dog slaughterhouse. And if that this story hasn't reached you, I encourage you to go look it up. Uh, Even if you're an individual that can't handle like really heart wrenching things, and I do. It is terrible. There's things that happen out there that are very terrible. I've heard about people who will take in dogs and care for them while people go on vacation, and then people come back and their dog is dead. And they never find out why until that rescue is actually um, investigated. And then upon that investigation, they find dogs in Rubbermaid containers decomposing. And these are people's dogs that they owned that they owned, and they leave them in the hands of people to watch them. And this is kind of what happened with this situation. People from other rescues brought their dogs there, paid this guy money for him to do what he did, and it is just awful. It's awful. It's awful that we have so many animals out there that need homes. It's awful that people don't want to go to rescues because they think they're going to be a problem. Or if you are going to get an animal, you're going to get a dog, and you're like, oh, I'm going to go to a breeder, or I'm going to go to the stupid pet stores that we have out here in Washington, which is ridiculous because they get all their dogs from breeders. You're going to go to one of those places because you think, oh, well, I'm going to get a better dog. Dogs are responsibilities anyway. It doesn't matter. You can get a dog from the stinking pet store, and it's going to have just as many medical problems as the dog that you're going to get from the rescue. But you're probably going to get the truth about the dog from the rescue. Or you're going to get, because you don't know if the dog that you're getting from the pet store is inbred or has all these issues or anything like that. You don't know any of that. And it's not the dog's fault. That's why I don't get upset at my friends, because I love them and care about them. But it's not the dog's fault. And I can hear him back there. He's out like a light. He's a big dog too. Uh, it is there's a lot that goes with this. And if you think that you're going to go to one of these places and get this better dog, there's so much uniqueness and love in these animals, these dogs. They forgive so easily. That's why you see things like that's why you see companies use beagles for testing, animal testing, and that is a huge other issue that's going on. There's so many issues going on with the animals right now. Skid Row is another one that I'll probably talk about, which is gut wrenching, the things that they're doing to dogs on Skid Row. And again, in California, where they're not going to do anything about it. I can tell you, if they saw animal abuse somewhere else, something would be done about it. But the fact that you got homeless people shooting up dogs with drugs and just leaving them for dead on the road, or they're abusing them physically and sexually, they're yeah, California doesn't want to do anything about that, and that's disgusting. And I'm a firm believer, just so you know, I'm a firm believer that no homeless person should own a dog. If you cannot keep a stable household, you have no business having a dog. And that's just my personal opinion. Dogs need stability and they need routine, and you just shouldn't have animals in general if you can't be at home. I mean, if you're homeless, I guess there's rats on the street. You can probably friend them, and that's probably not a very godly thing to say. So I'm going to repent and pray about that later. But if you can't have the responsibility, then, and you think that a rescue dog is going to be too much, then any animal is too much for you. Like, you don't deserve to have an animal. That's just the way it goes. If you can't care for them, my dogs are a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And when I had my elderly dog before she passed, I was just getting this one, and he's a puppy, and it was a lot of work. And there's a lot of frustration, and there's a lot that goes to it. I'm training this dog while my other dog is, elderly and not doing well. And then I have my two other ones that are just they're 11, but they act like they're 4 or 3, and they're just rampaged puppies all over the place. And, it gets to be a lot. So if you can't handle the work and the dedication to a dog, which takes you away from certain vacations that you want to go on, your freedoms, you don't have all the freedoms that you want to do. Unless you can afford boarding for them. And if you're going to board them all the time because you're going to go on trips all the time, don't have a dog or don't have an animal. So that's just my 2 cents. I love and care about everybody anyway, but that is my personal feelings. I've just seen way too many terrible things go on. I come from a family that got dogs from breeders. I didn't agree with it when I was younger either. But the more I got involved in rescues and watched what rescues have done and the things that they go through and the different levels of them, there's really terrible, terrible, terrible ones. And there's really amazing ones. And watched all the different sides of both sides of things. And how they are just the unsung heroes of these animals. And they are these, you have to have a special heart and a special talent and be a special person to be able to have a very successful rescue and be able to handle all the things that these people see. It's horrific. It's horrific. And I do pray for this man, of course, because that's what we do. And I never want anybody to be living a life of that, because when people live like that and they do these horrific things, it makes this world a horrific place. And we already have an abundance of things in this world that the devil runs around rampant, making it look like it's good, and it's not. And we have, stuff like this that's just makes it even worse, just makes it worse. And in a world where we just have a ton of chaos and just terrible things, the Lord is still there for us. And I just pray for people that are about to find out, because I think that they still do have the microchips, but find out that their dog was missing and this is what happened to it. I know that I would have a hard time with that. If my dog got lost and ended up in a rescue and ended up in the hands of that individual and that guy, I would have a hard time with it. It'd be really tough. But if you have a friend that handles rescue dogs and fosters dogs and does it the right way, because just because they're fostering dogs does not mean they're amazing people. Just because they're animal owners doesn't mean they're amazing people. But if you have a friend that is fostering animals or rescues animals, give them a big thank you. If you know of a good rescue, or you're trying to get a dog into a rescue and no rescue will take them, please do not speak ill of them. Please do not give them bad publicity. These rescues typically are working their butts off. And they do this out of the kindness of their heart. They don't do it to make money, because rescues don't make a ton of money unless you're this guy and you do terrible things. And when you do terrible things and you make money like that, terrible things are going to come around to you. So I really, I hope for justice to be served, because I do believe that our sins have consequences, and all sin is sin, but each sin has a different consequence to it. And I do hope that justice does come to calm the hearts of some of the other people that are just having a really hard time with this. And in the rescue community and animal community, it's a big deal. It's not talked about a lot, I don't think, in the media, because it's not gay pride. It's not Donald Trump. It's not Antifa. It's not all this weird stuff that they continue to put on social media. This has kind of been something that's been developing, and I've been trying to push it out a little bit because I think it's important. I've been pushing out some of the stuff that's going on in Skid Row, which is very important, because we have a huge, huge, huge population of homeless people here. And what happens on Skid Row makes me wonder what happens to the dogs that are out here. I mean, we're talking, there's horrific things, and that I don't even know if that I can say on here without getting taken down. But think of some of the worst imaginable things you can think of a human being doing to an animal, and that's what's happening in these homeless areas. And it makes me wonder when I see these dogs on the side of the street, I just want to scoop them all up. And I'm a firm believer that homeless people should not have animals. And that might make me sound like a very cold person, but I stand on that wholeheartedly. I know that there's a whole thought that, oh, that's their companion, but drugs are their companion. You know, when they're out there doing drugs and they're homeless, I'm not saying all homeless people are doing drugs, but a majority of them are, then drugs are their partner, not and their companionship, not the dog. They don't know what's going on with the dog when they're all doped up. And when you're on drugs, you don't make very good decisions. And when you're in addiction, you don't make very good decisions. And so you're not going to make very good decisions for your dog. So when people say, oh, I make sure that my dog is fed first, well, yeah, that's great. I don't know why it looks like it has an 8 and 3 months. So I just can't do it. And it might seem very shallow, but that is where I'm at. And I think that all rescues need to be regulated in some way. And I don't know exactly what that looks like. And I'm sure somebody in a rescue probably does because they do it day in and day out. But I think that there needs to be more inspections probably with these rescues. And that wouldn't bother the people that are actually doing it the right way. I think that it would probably give them more peace of mind for the people that are doing it the wrong way. And these dogs should be able to, and animals should be able to have a chance because the humans that had them before failed them. Because as human beings, we fail animals regularly. We do not deserve to have animals at all because humans fail them all the time. I mean, we are their entire life. And the reason why these animals are in rescues is because people couldn't take care of them. I mean, people move and they just dump their dog. Like, do you do that with your kid? Do you dump your kid off somewhere at a rescue because you're moving? No, you take your kid with you. So I know there's people that go into recovery and they have animals and you got to find a place for that animal. I get that. But maybe, and people are probably not going to like this either, maybe you need to learn how to have your dog and stay sober and go to meetings and not have to be in a facility that won't allow you to have the dog. But thankfully, the recovery community is pretty good, and they go ahead and they take over babysitting people's dogs. So that's a blessing in itself. But it's also a tall order for people to do. You know, I've been asked to take dogs, and I couldn't take them because I have other dogs, and they don't get along, and I just don't have the ability to do that, and I know that, so I take that responsibility. So anyway, this is going to be a short one tonight. I just wanted to bring light to the fact that one, rescues do really good work. Also, rescues out there are garbage, like this guy, and I'm just going to call a spade with him. You know, he did some horrific things, and there are other rescues out there like him. So don't think that just because it's a rescue, it's a great one. You got to do your research on it. And he fooled a lot of people. A lot of people thought he was a really great guy. I've seen some video of him taking dogs from people, and those dogs are no longer around, and they were not adopted out. So I'm going to dive into it a little bit more. It's hard for me to watch it because I could watch all the garbage that goes on in the world today all the time and just whatever. It's sad. It's a sad state, right? Of what happens or what we think is good or whatever, or what other people think is good. I don't think it's good. But when it comes to animals, they don't have a voice, and we are their voice. And when we are their voice, and we hand them over to somebody who doesn't care about them and just sees them as cash, that's a problem. So anyway, I'm going to dig deeper into this. I just wanted to get something out here today, and that was really sitting on my heart tonight. As I'm sitting on my couch and I'm hugging on my dogs, and how sometimes they frustrate the heck out of me because I have a big mastiff sized dog, and then I have little dogs, and he doesn't know that he's big. And it's a lot of correcting him, saying, no, leave it, no, leave it, no, leave it, no, leave it. But he's a puppy. He's an 80-pound puppy, and he wants to play with his brother and sister. And so it gets to be a lot sometimes for people. So when I sit on the couch with them tonight anyway, back to that, when I hug them a little bit harder tonight because, yeah, I love them. So, and they deserve to have a good life, and they deserve to have even better than me. I mean, they deserve better than I can give them. Granted, they're happy, they're fed, they're taken care of, they're, they get all the things, they get treats, they get loves. My mom's here. My mom loves them to death, and not to death, that's a bad word to use, but she loves them a lot. And they have their own personalities, and they're funny, and they're silly and needy and codependent. And of course, they're codependent, but I love them. And I hug them a little bit more. And if I could have them sleep in my bed right there, that's not made necessarily, I would totally do it. But then I would never have any space in my bed, and I'd never get any sleep. So anyway, I look at the clock, and it is time for me to go to bed because I have to get up early in the morning. But take time to reach out to people in California about these dogs on Skid Row. Take time to make donations to your local rescues that you know are good. And if you need to know some and you see this, I don't have a lot of viewers, so I don't know if you will. I can give you some great names of some great rescues that I know, both here and in Arizona. Also, if you're one of those Karens or whatever you want to call people now that aren't very nice, that want to go in and badmouth rescues, because I know I've seen some badmouth some local rescues here, rescues that actually help me out, and I know that are really good. Take a step back, because if you're not actually doing the rescue, you don't know what you're talking about. So, yeah, take time to show gratitude towards these rescues and provide money and do research on them before you provide any donations. Some of them need food, bags of food. Some of them need bowls. Some of them just reach out to a rescue and find out what it is that they need, because they do need things, and then go buy new stuff for them, for a dog. Go spend time at a rescue with a dog to give it some companionship or something. And then contact your local, actually not even your local, but I'd say contact Congress or the people in, I'm tired, but the people in California, senators in California that don't care about these dogs, because all they care about is a paycheck. And they probably only care about Donald Trump because he lives rent free in everybody's head. Take time to reach out to them, to voice some things about Skid Row and animals on Skid Row. The things that are happening out there are horrific, and they're starting to come to light right now and get some more traction. So, like, yeah. And if you have dogs, hug them a little tighter today and tonight, because they unconditionally love you, and we don't deserve them ever. Right. That's all I got. Have a good night.